Oh, now we got more people here.
Don't scare them away now.
I'm just talking about state nicknames. Who wants to come up? South Dakota is requested. Okay. Michigan. I gotta look up Michigan nickname.
I'll share some stuff with you real quick.
All right. Here's Netizen as well.
Oh, do you want to?
So I know there was a update that went out today. All right. So I go to my school. I go make a team real quick. Let's say this is like Smash 2, right? Skill tier. Okay. Whatever. Co-ed, color tag. Let's just make it blue. So here, let's add a kid real quick. Cool, we're set. Let's go to our seasons. Smash solos. Register Smash 2 is one. Submit it. There's nobody here. I can't add anybody. And then if I go, I have a college football team.
Go back to
college football and college football. And I go to this, and then it makes me a new team. But nobody.
So the college football is expected, right? You don't have you coming in with an empty roster, a new empty team roster when you create the team right there. Yeah, I want to look at that Smash 2 one.
And the no, so it's different because in the football one, it was showing all the schools that have already registered as selections, not my teams.
Can you go back to that again? I went really fast.
Schools. And I
Those
don't
are
know
all
why.
yours. Those are all your schools. Are you on your super admin account?
Yeah, but these are not my schools.
Can you go to one of them? Go to Granville High School. Go to administration. So you're on all these ones here.
Why am I on them?
Probably
Did you
because
make them?
Yeah, did you make the schools at some point?
Yes, I made them and then invited somebody else as the owner.
Yeah. So if you made them, then it brings you in, and so we need to do a couple things. Probably knock you off of those guys, off of those teams, or off of that ACL list, and then rerun our batch ops to put the league onto all of them. I can run the batch
I just
ops.
did that. I just ran it. Yeah.
Okay. So you won't need to be as a manager or as that owner on those schools anymore. So that list will disappear for you as we do that.
So I don't care about that as much as how do I select a team then if I am in that situation? Like if there's a workaround, then it's fine and you should spend your resources on something else right now.
What situation here for you?
I mean, there's other stuff that needs to get.
No. I know that specific issue though.
So why isn't college football here? It's just here yesterday. So if I go here and I click my school, it creates a new team, but I can't select teams that I already have.
Can you go to your school then? And for college football, are you using the? This is a new addition. Are you running the standard activities on that?
It's a custom activity because there's no college football activity.
There is.
There was not when I set it up.
Okay.
So we had to build out our own custom one.
Okay.
It's not here anymore. Actually, none of my custom activities show up here at all. That's probably why. Because look, that's probably your new one, and I had my custom one. I also have a custom one for shoutcasting, and it doesn't show up here at all.
Right. Yeah, this is a one that we're trying to get. What is shoutcasting?
They have shoutcasting submissions they put in every week for scores, and we have judges, including the Association of Broadcasters, that's judging shoutcasting submissions.
Okay.
Is that new this year?
Yeah, we ran it during the pandemic, but it kind of died because of the pandemic, so it brought it back.
Well,
The other thing here is like club skill tier. Is there any way we can link that to division, or like have division there instead? We're using division for our varsity club to divide them this year.
You can. Do you not want to? I would recommend using just that skill tier as it is. So if you go to the team profile right there, there's your Team Skill club down there. But we need to make an adjustment to that one, probably.
So is that different from if I'm in the season and I'm I don't think anybody signed up for League of Legends. Because it's League of Legends. I'm here. Yeah, division. Right.
That's fine. Yeah, you can continue to use those if you want. Yeah.
If I do no divisions here, that's going to just capture them all, right?
Yeah, any team can sign up for that. Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
And then so then you just want to leave that one blank because the teams are going to be kind of signing up and selecting club or whatever when they made stuff. So and all old teams got to reassign to club as well. So keep that one blank. Keep those ones blank.
So all old teams got assigned to club.
I believe so.
For division requirements, yeah. I think all new teams are automatically club also.
Unless they select it differently. Yeah, during the sign up they can select.
Well, you can't.
You have what?
During sign up, you can't select different divisions. Only skill tier, right?
Whatever
It's a
options
division.
are whatever options are set for the season are what are restricted to at the time of sign up. So you can't make like a amateur team if you're trying to sign up directly and create a team in line for that season. It'll block you out. Yeah, I know it says club twice. Is because one of those is the skill tier, one of them is your
Division
division.
skill. Yep.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
fine.
Until we go through and unify that, which is possible to do. We can get that done. In the meantime, go to your team settings. So your admin area and go to teams, and let's unselect skill tiers that you aren't going to be using. So bottom admin area, yeah, back into teams at the top, and that list, yeah. So probably take off.
Well,
If
they're
you're
all
not going to
club
use,
now, so
it's fine. You can take off club. What it'll do is prevent teams from. Or you want to use club now, right? You're using club and varsity. Are the
club
two that you
/
use?
JV, we call them the same thing right now.
Okay, you call them the same thing. So if you're going to use just club, I would just use club then. That way, new team, if they try and make a new team, then they'll just make sure that they are only a club or varsity. So
If I switch this over to junior varsity, is that gonna?
you'll have to manually control all of the
Go through and update the
yeah.
data?
Yep.
That's fine, I think.
Do you want to? How far? I know you've been poking away at stuff. How many teams have registered so far in your process? Are you just getting started?
Yeah, we're just getting started, but we have a lot of teams that just basically gave up. Probably 50 teams gave up already, 50 schools, because they can't figure out anything out. And that's, we probably only got a dozen registered then.
What were they registering for?
Some were trying to do crews, some were solos, some were Valorant, some were Overwatch 2, Mario Kart. And because they are, at first I thought it was because they didn't have their team selected as either club or varsity, and we have it restricted just to club or varsity.
Yep.
But like you just said, they have, if they were all updated to club, then there shouldn't be any restriction for them joining from that side, right?
Well, you're using divisions as you're using the club tag and divisions, not the skill tier. So I don't know which seasons, if they're all aligned
Oh
with
yeah.
with that separation. So if you had set accidentally a skill tier requirement as like JV or something, then I guess yeah, you can go back there. It should be
Yeah.
on the overview.
And we were using divisions because we were always ran varsity club as division.
Yeah.
There was no skill tiers when we introduced this.
Right. That's all. Yeah. And since everyone was
So-
using divisions like that, but then we kept getting requests for more like skill, different types of divisions, and Skillshare was a consistent piece. We codified that piece.
If I do that, change skill tiers, is that going to update all club to JV, the next
No.
highest? So I have to still go through and update every single one.
Yeah, you still have to go through and update all the teams. Yep. So I think right now I think you should avoid using the skill tiers until you get through this spaghetti that has been created here. Unless we want to come through. Can you pick off a school here? Like let's look at your school in particular. Go to the teams, yeah. Varsity. So do you have? So yeah, you're only running skill tiers. I'm wondering what we do here. Do we run like a batch script and just update all of your? I mean, they should have given them the right tags, unless they weren't named that. Divisions. What were the divisions previously? What were they last year? Were they varsity club last year?
Yeah. Yep. Varsity club.
That's probably why they all got set to club, because it was recognizing club for most of them.
I'm fine with club.
Yeah, if they were tagged as club, I would try to assign them to club there in that. Yeah, that should be fine. Let's leave it as that. Let me pull over here. What school is that? Were you working on?
West Catholic. Grand Rapids West Catholic. It's my school, so you can test whatever you want on there.
Yeah, let's take a look here. Yeah, all of your teams are club or varsity except for a couple that you've made JV here. So those are all fine. It looks like, although one of them had the word JV in the title, so I assigned it JV.
Fine.
If anyone else
Yeah, if you go
wants
to
to just raise
So how?
real quick, if anyone else wants to raise their hand to speak next, go ahead.
This skill tier, then, how do we unlock that?
I will change those. Which one was it? That was your Smash Bros here.
Basically, we just need to map over.
So I got yours. Yeah, I'll map all the JVs over to club in your league, basically, if they've been set.
If they've been set as club division, then just make them club skill tier. And if they're been set as varsity division, make them varsity skill tier. And I
It's-
think we're set.
Probably already there. So if you go to, so I just updated those ones. Team region. There's going to be a couple JVs, but if I go through your whole list here, I need to put divisions on that table. Majority of your teams are set to club. I'll take a look. Yeah, I can run a script here and fix that up for you. Then I just want to make sure that if we're going to set that and use that as your qualifiers and your filters for the seasons, how many seasons are you kicking off with here? Are you kicking off with all 18 games here?
Yeah.
Okay. Shoutcasting. So the other issue is the shoutcasting one is going to be interesting. Those teams need to be made without. Actually, it doesn't really matter. They can be made with anything. Are they shoutcasting a specific game or just all games?
All games.
All games.
All we're doing is using League OS to keep track of what students sign up,
Sure.
because they need to link their username on League OS to a UUID when they make their submissions.
Yeah.
So judges are unbiased, and then 2 for putting scores in.
Okay. So what I'm gonna I know what I'm gonna do here. So I'm gonna make an other category. So when you make a team, if they're going to make a shoutcasting team from their team page, it will be, they'll select other from that list, and I will skirt us through that process there. That way they can make it there. Hold that one. Okay.
So none of this is going to work.
That'll work. Yeah, that'll work. It's just when they make the I think so. Let me just double. I'll work through that. We've been moving away from the custom stuff, but I want to support it still. But the team creation flow has been. We've had teams that have didn't have an activity set, and so they had teams playing in like Rocket League and Overwatch, and so I couldn't aggregate the stats. So we were like, I have to enforce that standard activity at the front. That way, and then once it's set, it can't be changed. It can be changed up until they have data and they have a roster that's competed in a season and they have data accumulating. Once that happens, then it's locked to that activity. Until that moment, they can switch it, but once the roster is created and registered, it's done. I want to figure out your solo problem though. That one was probably the main issue for your Smash Brothers one, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you had was that your Smash Solo 1, right?
Yeah, it was college football. Oh, Smash solos?
Yeah.
Well, the issue with solos is if you register, the kids nobody even shows up on the roster. So like,
Which season was that for? Fall
this is
2024.
Yep.
College football.
This is Smash solos.
Is it and crew? No, that's
I wonder
crew.
if NBA 2K has the same issue.
We will take the next hand raisers in order. So if you got something to ask on stage, just jump in there.
Yeah, if I add a kid to the team afterwards, so the team I added that didn't have a kid, if I add it afterwards, there's no student. Is that because I have to sync it on the admin side?
You shouldn't have to. That's what I'm trying to figure out, like, why that is not showing the roster list right there. See, member manage edit. That's not where I'm at.
Fred is up next. Thank you, Fred.
I'm gonna have to work on recreating this one.
All right. I have to go. I'm running an intro to esports thing tonight. So, and then I have practice. So I
Okay.
gotta head out.
Shoot me a note later, Dakota, if you want to chat. Thanks for coming.
Dakota, just
Alright.
to humor me, can you refresh that page? Never mind. What I thought it was wasn't.
And the other thing, last thing. Whenever we make seasons, and I thought this was just how League OS is, because we've been on it forever. You go to like registration. I cannot create seasons without having these two things in here. Is that a setup issue somewhere? Like if I delete one of these steps, oh, missing modules, I have to add it back in.
You don't
Is that-
have to. You can remove it, but that join your team then would I mean you can hit save and it would be there without it, but
Like
you
I don't
can
care about join your team. I just want them to be able to register and then roster their team, I guess. It needs to be as simple as possible. Like join your team implies that there's a student that has to do something on top of it, right?
right. Yep. No, this is the long the long explanation I put in the Scholastic chat where people were registering old teams with players that were still listed as active because they hadn't gone through and deactivated and removed them, and so everyone was getting emails when they had graduated from the school. So we had to turn that off. I do want to turn it back on. What I'll probably end up doing is I'm not sure what I'm probably going to do. They will get turned on again, probably next week. Is my guess. Just so I don't end up spamming people some more. So
Yeah, I don't want students to have to confirm. This is like high school, middle school.
right. Yeah, no, we recognize that. It's
college, this might be different.
No, even college, we're pushing them in. But the problem is we got to get coaches managing their rosters better. A lot of them are just clicking register and they're bringing in their old team and they're not bothering to update their member list. So, and that was causing a lot of havoc.
Yeah, but now so the burden has shifted from leagues and coaches that don't update their roster to leagues like mine who now have to go through and deal with a bunch of minutia to like support all these coaches that have to go in, set their rosters, have their teams join. Like it's just adding all these steps for everybody else because some people couldn't do the simple stuff. It's a huge pain. I mean, it's like shifting, the workload to somebody else.
Okay, we'll take it's not
And decisions like that need to be like they need to be brought to everybody's attention. So that it's not just one league kind of telling you what to do. So, all right, I'll talk to you guys later.
Makes sense. Thanks, Dakota.
Bye.
All right, we can bring Fred up.
Trying to find the button.
I was trying to find it too. There he is.
I'm only staring at 5 screens right now. No biggie. Oh, Fred left.
No, I'm in here now.
Oh, it's because I have audience minimized. That's on me.
Hey, one
What's up?
question I had is an old one. I feel like the Valorant API. What is the functionality on that right now? I know you guys had mentioned like the scoreboard parser before, but if we've never forced any of that and we're thinking about using it this evening, how does it work for importing data from Valorant? I know you had mentioned Riot IDs before, things like that.
Do you have a match? Um,
I have an old one we could pull up that I believe some of them may have used it, but all the matches that we're gonna like actually use it for real on are scheduled right now.
yeah, for some reason I can't. Hold on one second.
You don't have to give me like a live demo of it. I just an explanation's fine for us.
Yeah. So as long as um, as long as a player on each team has connected their Riot accounts, when you hit the verify button or there's a button in the proof of results area on a match page, you can update mid game. So if you're playing like a best of 3, which you're probably not, you're probably just playing a game, probably. Well, maybe
Yeah,
not. Right?
qualifiers best of 1.
Best of 1. Yeah, so best of 1. So you're like, there's not much you need to do in terms of like our overlays because you're using just the in-game HUD and in-game observer overlay. That's going to give you your round score, right? First to 12 or whatever. It's when you have like a sequencing of games from there. So what you're going to do is play the game, and then when you hit verify match, so match complete, and it goes into that verifying phase, it's going to go out to the API. It's going to find the match history of all the players that have connected their Riot accounts in that match, and it's going to do kind of a cross-reference to see if there's an overlapping match between them that occurred based on the time frame of when you hit, match is done and when the match was supposed to be started. It gives it a fairly large buffer on either end, but not too large, so I don't catch matches if a couple of people played last week, kind of thing. So it'll extend it out a little bit, but it'll look for overlapping match data and then grab that and assign it to game 1. And if it's a best of 3, then it's going to look for up to 3 games and start assigning those until you get to the winner best of 2. That's going to add all the stats to all the players as well. So all the KDA, bomb diffuses, everything, puts on all this stuff, and then you're done. So basically, the process for when everyone is connected to their Riot accounts is they hit on our pages, they hit start match, they go play the game, they come back to our page and they hit match done, and then match is finished, and that's it. There's no data entry, there's no score entry, there's no who won the game, who checked in, none of that. All of it is automated. So.
Okay, cool. So it cross-references based on the players, not like, I don't know, it doesn't look for a match that went 12-11 or 12-10 or something like that, or 13-11, whatever it is in Valorant.
Yeah, you don't have to punch the scores in. It'll grab the score data out of there. So
if they do, does it hurt the process?
It'll wipe out whatever they manually entered.
Perfect. Okay, that's what we were hoping. So we don't need to require uploads. We're going to anyways, but that doesn't get involved in that process.
Yeah, for like Valorant, like the upload data actually comes, you'll see it pop through down in the API section. You'll see a little file that you can actually download, and you can see the full API data that we pull from Riot for those games.
Just like a little JSON or text file. Okay.
Yep, it
Cool.
pulls it all.
But
in
if they upload a scoreboard screenshot, it's not going to override that process or something like that.
No, not at all.
Okay.
No.
Perfect. That works perfectly then.
And
The
if
only
it's
other
not
thing
working,
was okay, yeah, I will. We'll I'm watching it anyways just because it's Swiss. So I'll be just popping in to see how things are going because I know we got most of the check-in stuff kind of solved last week.
Yeah, I think I saw it fix that bug. Yeah, as far as like your Swiss concept, there was a moment I think last year where I did let you generate multiple Swiss rounds even when you had outstanding matches. But the output from that scheduler was
Very rough.
yeah, it was bad. It was pretty bad. And so I mean, Swiss is designed to, pair them off and separate and isolate the different skill sets. So doing it mid round just ended up with unpredictable results that people weren't happy with. So I think I've turned it off. I'm not confident.
That's good enough reasoning for me.
Yeah, I would just say just make sure everyone plays, and if they need to reschedule a match because they couldn't play, so you have a couple teams that are just like sitting out, then like cancel the match or move it to a different round kind of thing or something. I don't know, like delete it and put it back in later, but probably, or maybe just mark it as canceled and then move on and have them create a separate match and do it later. So, but you could just mark it as canceled. They'd have no, they wouldn't get a win or a loss or a forfeit or anything for it, but you could move it to cancel, generate the round, and then you could resurrect that one.
Is that
But
just a match state?
yeah, there's a match state of canceled.
Same way as like completed in progress, all that, it's in that same menu.
Yep, same menu there. Yep.
Okay, cool. That's actually good to know. I just would FF both of them, and then it gets kind of funky sometimes.
Yeah.
The only other question I had was kind of related to, because that was plenty for that one, was related to the skill tier stuff, actually. It kind of thought about it when we were just looking at that. So for example, we don't really use the skill tiers, but just to clean up the options for teams, because they'll occasionally ask me, what do I click? And I honestly am just like, choose club or whatever. I really don't care. Let's say some of them have chose JV. I go into that settings menu and I remove JV as an option and leave it as just club and varsity. What happens to those JV teams?
They will still be set as JV teams.
Okay.
What you need to not worry about is what the team set. What's coming here with dashboard is that the idea of managing the team, what we're referencing as team templates, is really going to get moved into kind of an under the hood, like pre-staging management area for the groups and the coaches. The goal is to, as you heard Dakota earlier, is like it's very frustrating for them to manage all these things. It feels like there's a lot of clicks. And that's because of the way that League OS was originally set up, is that these teams are templates and they are creating rosters and kind of subsets of a team as we go. And so we're really going to lean into that. And so Dashboard is bringing all of that kind of team management idea underneath there. What you'll worry about are the rosters that appear in your system. The rosters are the things that compete in seasons. You're going to lose a lot of the view onto the teams, and it's really inconsequential to you at the end of the day.
Okay, cool. So I'm not
and
even going to
so-
worry about it. We're not
yeah,
going to
you
use
don't
it
need
for
to
the
worry
next
about
year anyways, so it'll
Yeah.
be...
Yeah, by that time it'll all be we'll have a new UI. You probably won't even see the team templates at all in your league. Those will all be only live over in dashboard for the coaches to manage who's playing what, how they want to organize it, and how they submit them into the rosters. So I would not worry about that at all right now. So
Cool. Yeah, I've already checked out the dashboard a bit, what's on there. I know it's not fleshed out, but it looks nice.
yeah, I just started pushing some updates today. So it's starting to look really good actually on like the roster management. Wish I could share my screen. I could show that. Why can I not share my screen?
Mac problems.
I'm gonna hang up. I'll be right back.
That makes me laugh.
Yeah, Cookies. Wilhelm had a good question. Do you know off the top of your head? I know he's probably a better option to ask, but what APIs are actually functional now?
Valorant, and Valorant.
Okay, not at the other Riot titles either.
Not yet. Not League of Legends.
Yeah.
No.
We had high res for a while. I don't know if high res is still working.
I don't. Well, we have high res data connections, but nobody plays those games. So,
Iowa still does.
do they? Do they play Smite?
Lauren's here. Yeah, Lauren's here. Smite.
Let me see. If
And we have Velocidrone.
You should play Battle Right. It's such a better game.
And we get some Velocidrone.
yeah. So like the new. Go to Cookies test maybe. So today's updates for your dashboard here, managing your full roster, and then actually let me go to NO2G. This is going to be the new way to create invites to your school. Just a little box down here at the bottom chunker. So you have a simple, basically invite code. You can flip that off to disable it. Otherwise, you can just flip that on, and people can follow this link to join your school. You can copy and paste it, send it emails, Discord, whatever you want to do, or just write it on the whiteboard. You can generate a new code if it gets leaked and you don't want people using it. And then when no more signups are happening, you just toggle it off and close it. So now no one can get into my school at this point. So we've simplified the entire invite system to just this. the
And this will
ownership
be
concept.
managed all by the teams themselves. This will be
Yeah.
it'll be league agnostic.
Yep, that's right. Yep, this is where a school will manage their whole roster, and then they'll have league invites that pop in over here as well. So this is where like they manage all their
Yeah, I saw the
teams.
registration. I like that a lot. How does that work? Like you get invited to a league and then that is permanently populated with that league's registrations.
Yeah, I'm actually working on that tomorrow. So what I finished up today is the ability to like come through and edit the status. So I want to make him a production staff, add those rules. Let's retire him. He's injured for right now. We can Joel S. We'll make Nettie this guy. We'll make him as removed. Pull him out of the list. We can reveal him there. I can check on what games or what teams he's on over here on the right side. So I see he's on these two Overwatch teams.
Oh, and
But
those
because he's
connections are league
yeah,
agnostic too?
yep. So since he's a player
That's
on this
nice.
one, it's like, hey, you need to get your connection in place. This one isn't over here. I'm good on this one, right? So I'm a player, but I have my Battle.net connected. So you can see really quickly, like, hey, this player doesn't have it. You'll be able to send a reminder, which will send out a notification and email. It'll be like, please connect your Battle.net account so we can finish our registration, right?
Let's say
So,
you're in two leagues and they both require your Battle.net account, right? If you
yep,
do it just in this one place, it'll work for both of those leagues.
yes, yep,
That's nice. Okay. Because
yep,
we all have roughly the same quote unquote requirements. But let's say
yep,
like one league requires both Discord and Battle.net and the other one only requires Discord. It kind of just combines all that into one list.
yep. All of
Cool.
that, yeah, all the member data is now kind of pulled directly out of the league, so it's at a root level now. So then that's where I'm gonna go back to this one. Yeah, so they'll be able to click on this, and again, this is like the team template, right? So these are my team template of players. This is the next piece I'm working on tomorrow. Actually, we're working on a little bit tonight, but the idea here is, if I look at it, here's an example: Overwatch team. I'm playing in two different leagues, so I have a different record in each of them. You'll be able to select that one to see exactly where you're playing at over here. So you'll have some micromanagement of like, okay, if you have a team template of like 20 players, if you just want to throw all 20 people onto your varsity Overwatch team, but only 4 of them are playing in this league and 4 of them are playing in a different one, you'll be able to select and isolate that information. But then you can still see the full-on calendar and aggregate data there. So that's what this update tomorrow will show off, and then that registration spot will start to come together. You'll get league invites down here at the bottom. So if you invite a school, they'll get this league invite, like, hey, come play in the WC or come play in the SEL or whatever. And
We
then
just
it
have a
will be
public
there.
invite out there that they click and join, I take it? Or is it we invite
We're
them?
going back and forth on what the school or group invite to a league is going to look like in the future. So this is just the first kind of attempt at like, what would that
Yeah.
look like?
I like the
So
idea of inviting them, but if y'all could just create a way that they can just click something and it joins league, I think for people like us who already have like as many teams as we have already in the like pipeline, if they can just click it in the Discord announcement, that would
yeah,
be nice.
yeah, that would be nice. So
I like it. What would the league side look like? Do you guys know that yet, or is that gonna stay roughly the same?
yeah, no, we do have a newer view. Again, the current league site is built on 5-year-old tech, so it's due
Yeah,
for an update. So quite a bit more ESPN style
I like it.
stuff at the top. Activity selectors kind of on the left, maybe
So a
cycle
lot
tier.
more groups by activities instead of grouped by events and stuff like
Yep.
that.
Yep.
Okay.
So a lot of filters and kind of contextual switching, feature matches, all that type of stuff. So, what's in season, what are we playing, what we're not playing right now, live streams embedded in there so people detect them. I have all that kind of in place already, working with like the Chrome UI. So we'll just bring it over to the main
Okay.
website. So
So like if a player's streaming their POV, that would pop up there, kind of like Discord's.
yep. Yep, as long as they've connected their
presence and
Twitch account, their Twitch, I think just Twitch right now is the one I support. So if they connect their Twitch account and they're streaming, it will, when the match goes live, it'll check to see, hey, is somebody here streaming? And if they are, it'll pull it up and drop it in live stream. Now that does have to be whitelisted. You have to enable that on the site. So we're not just
I
going to
like
pull up
that.
everyone. It'll be like, hey, these are the, either allow all players, or you can say only allow streams from the schools. So the schools can connect their Twitch account. So there'll be levels of like permissions and saying we'll let this level
Okay.
of stream appear on our page. That way you don't just get a bunch of crap. So no hot tub streams, right? So
I like it. I like it.
yeah.
Okay.
And then like
And
the
so
players of the
really-
week. Yeah, the players of the week is going to be stat driven. So we have,
Okay.
we do stat badges over in Champs right now, but it's a manual process. But the goal is to turn that into a full automated achievement system. And so we'll be able to pull out and say who was the top goal scorer of the week, or who had the best KD ratio in Valorant for the week, that kind of stuff. So all that would be pulled out right here onto the main screen. So
One weird thing that y'all probably haven't thought about, that if you go all the way back up to the top, the concept of like the scrolling bar of matches going on, have y'all thought about making that like a embeddable item, like in the OBS or VMix? I know that's probably the last thing on y'all's list, if it was.
well, we have like the Chrome UI that we do for match pages is similar concept, just a different layout. Have you seen that one?
I don't. Maybe.
I'm trying to think what would be a good demo.
Probably Illinois YouTube video has it in the bottom,
Indiana.
or Indiana.
Wilhelm says has some.
Well, you guys were streaming yesterday, right?
He was streaming today too. I was troubleshooting his Rocket League overlay because he had the old SOS and not the new and improved one.
Streaming
Got
every day. Snyder.
So, but he's working now.
Snyder channel. Bill.
Oh, Snyder channel.
If you had any questions for like the coaches or for
SNID.
Oh no, go to the IEN channel again. The VOD, like, so the stream that I did when I drove up to Ball State, it should be on there. Go to videos
This one?
and scroll down. Yeah, scroll down. Right there on the right. IEN Finals 24 Rocket League Championships.
This one?
Yep.
Oh, there we go.
That's the broadcast that I did.
Got it. So that would be down
So
here
is
at the
this
bottom.
bracket straight out of League OS right here?
Yeah, this bracket is. And they have sponsors. So all that bottom bar is like the Chrome. So they have different
Yeah.
sponsors that are rotating through. And then we have Fortnite. So now we're switching to Rocket League. I don't know if any games are going on. Do I need to flip forward? But
The only thing of that that wasn't from our system was the rotating background graphic that you see right there,
Hey, it's better.
and the text that said like starting soon or whatever. Those were things I added.
do you have any gameplay stuff going on in the bottom Chrome? I don't see any.
So this is
I don't
all
know if-
y'all's LOS production kit? This is pretty much this whole thing?
Yeah, these all the overlays are available on the match pages. Yeah,
This
is
is
all
taking
free.
a long way.
Pull up Snyder's VOD on Twitch because that'll have like more current. So go to Twitch/Snyder High School.
How do I
We
spell
haven't
Snyder?
checked this feature out since we came on like 2 years ago. SNIDER.
Snyder High School Esports.
So Fred, we rolled out. We've had this hard to find for a while. Last January, we rolled out a few things on the
Videos.
resources tab on the match pages, and then it was the very end of the school year that all this
Go to the back half.
stuff came out.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I'll have to look at
Keep
this
going.
more.
This is
because we've,
troubleshooting. Keep going.
We do all this by, from scratch on our end.
Whenever I can get Joel to do it, I want us to also generate social posts. So match scheduled, match results. If it's API driven stat stuff, generating individual
Stuff.
player posts as well.
So this is our Rocket League overlay.
Oh,
You can
wow.
drop
Yeah,
it.
that looks like just insanely better than it did originally. I know originally it was kind of like just a framework for it, but that looks awesome.
And then I'm trying to find see if they have any. Do they put the Chrome later on here?
They didn't have the Chrome on.
Go to yesterday's VOD. Sorry, yesterday had the Chrome.
I was like, what am I? Which one are we
The
talking
Smash
about?
Bros one. Go the
This-
Smash right in the middle. Yep, that one had the Chrome. Go about halfway through the stream because that's when it finally got up and working properly.
There we go. That's what I'm looking for. So you can see at
Sorry.
the bottom there. It's like, so you can see the upcoming matches. This is Fortnite, and then this will cycle through. It kind of picks off like what are the important ones. So here's then Valorant. Lowell beat North Vermilion 12-1. They'll cycle through another one, and sponsors get rolled in. And then if there's other streams going on, those get promoted as well. In the middle of this, I don't think we didn't have any whitelisting going on for that yet, though. So
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
So then it'll cycle through Overwatch, then Smash over here on the right
If you
side.
go a little bit further to like the back fourth of that stream, you'll see I put in his extra sponsor stuff. So, and then the right side Chrome sponsor, those pop-ups are working.
That's
Yeah,
nice.
this is Zoda Gaming. Yeah.
And so this, like for example, in Valorant, right? If we did that tonight, Valorant is just going to pull directly from the results that are inputted into LeagueOS.
Well, Valorant, you don't really need. The only thing you really would need for Valorant. I mean, not really.
I guess it's a
anything
bad
else.
example since it's got API, but let's say it was from Rocket League, right, where there's not API.
So yeah, if Rocket League you're playing like a best of 5, you have the Rocket League Bacchus mod install and the overlay
Yeah.
there. So that gives you your current game, and then it gives
Oh,
you.
so y'all just link into Baki's mod for it?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, cool. That's how we do it now. My thoughts were wondering like where are y'all getting some of the information from in LeagueOS, but if it's just using Baki's mod, that makes sense.
Yeah, for Rocket League, that's what that's using. I will note, we do have a custom DLL. It's better. It's on our GitHub, so if you want to look at the code and feel good about the code, that is available. Let's see if I can find one here.
But for a game like Smash as well, if you update the score on the website, it'll also update in the overlays. And like
So it didn't relies on that, I take it.
Yeah. So if you go down here to the this particular one under here, so go to the match overlays in our help center. Tells you what to do. But there's a couple nice things about this overlay plugin. It'll automatically hide all the in-game UI when the match starts. So you don't have to keep remembering to hit doubles H or whatever it was to hide it. And then it is backwards compatible with all other overlays, so you don't need to worry about not breaking existing overlay plugins or overlay systems. But then there's some other nice features that are in there that I'm waiting for them to do whatever. Anyway, it's more stable. I get more data. I get boost data. I get better information on who's playing. It exposes better IDs. So I just fixed a lot of bugs in it, basically. And I've done pull requests on the original, but the guy has never bothered to integrate them. He's just, who cares? So I've just had to make my own version of it. So
Sounds like me at work.
Yeah.
Just deny pull requests.
yeah.
I did
So,
add some text into that about how to line up your game capture properly inside of the Chrome.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll figure all that out. I'm gonna ping that over to our Valorant guys because if we can pop in the bracket and stuff that way, I didn't even know that was an option. So just noticing
Yeah.
that there was kind of nice.
Yeah,
Does it
go-
steal colors and stuff too from the resources? We've actually transitioned to that almost entirely, which has been really
Yeah.
helpful.
So for this, yeah, you come over here like the streaming tools, and then I'll just delete all these things. So I started like an empty OBS. If you turn on the WebSocket server settings,
Yeah.
and then just disable authentication, click OBS, click connect, and then hit create all. That's going to populate all these scenes, everything from the bracket, and then it give you the some guides here, so it'll tell you exactly what it needs to do, and then that gets hidden. So 1792 by 1008 is like the inner 16 by 9. You get the match preview, different pieces, progress, cards, up next, caster stuff, break time, and it'll integrate there at the bottom. You can see the Chrome is there. So really the only thing left to do is bring in the audio, and then the game. And so you just drop the game in here underneath the match activity. So
Are we able to kind of piecemeal this a little bit? Like, can we steal just the bracket part? Because like we've already got all this in our setup. Like, if we were able to, are we able just to take that transparent bracket piece and just put that in whatever we have?
Yep. So if you already have scenes, you don't have to worry about it. Let's say you have your own empty scene over here, and like this was your bracket, but you want a better bracket. You just basically select that scene, make sure you're connected over here, and then let's see, stream bracket overlay. Just hit the add to the current scene, and that will add it in right there.
Nice, perfect. Okay, I'll play with that tonight actually while some of the matches are going on. Then.
And then if you're moving through matches and sequencing, you can go to different match page, reconnect, and then just hit update scenes, and it'll look for anything in here that matches the URLs that I'm expecting, and just replace them with the new ones. So you can kind of swap them off piecemeal. But these are all the different ones we have. So
Is there for the bracket one? Is there a resources section on like the bracket for a event that we can take that link from? That'll just be permanently for that event. Like for example, we have two sections. The way we do it, we have two different stream kits entirely, and so one is Valorant, one is Rocket League.
yeah,
Is that permanently updating?
Yes. Yeah, you can grab this link. You can also
From
just
any
copy.
match.
Yeah, you can go here and just open a new window, or you can click it to copy the URL. The bracket
cool.
overlay it is a outlier here. Well, not really. There's a couple other ones in here, but this one does apply to the bracket overall.
It doesn't just get shut off after the match, basically.
Correct. Yep.
Cool. Okay, that's what I was hoping.
And then
That's
with all
perfect.
these, if you interact or if you're on there and hit the H key, you can start to configure it. So if you want, like let's do. If you want to get just the semifinals, so you can like kind of trim it down. If you have like a giant like 128 person bracket, like I think you had last year, and you want to trim out that first round and just get down to the quarterfinals and beyond, you can do that. And then what other keys? You can like zoom in and out, and this will increase the font sizes, so you don't get like any sort of pixelation if you're trying resizing stuff. So
We're down to
Yeah.
3 minutes before the top of the hour. Lawrence raised your hand, so I want to make sure we.
Oh yeah. I'm
See the
just asking
seasons.
random stuff now. Y'all have answered
No,
all
it's
my
okay.
legitimate questions.
That's okay. But yeah, play with the
I'll
overlay.
ask questions for the next 2 hours if you let me. So no,
We
perfect. We'll
appreciate
play
it.
with that tonight. So thank you.
Yeah.
All right, I'll pop out of here.
Thanks, Fred.
See ya.
Hi, friends.
Lauren.
Hello. Okay, so I think most of my questions were answered just kind of throughout the day today, but I had, I think, two just of making life easier type questions. Last week, or the week before, something like that, we met with Cookies, and he was telling us about kind of a quote unquote like cheat code, how to get kids registered to like make their accounts visible so they can be put on a roster and stuff like that. But as we have kids coming in this week, and like they still sit pending. Basically, they sit pending, and then coaches aren't able to put them on the roster, and then coaches freak out, and then they cry to us. Is there an easier way or like a setting that I can turn off or on so that it just automatically accepts children as long as they're on a team, not by a deadline, if that makes sense?
Yeah, which season?
We've gotten some for Smash, I think, particularly.
JV or varsity?
Basically Levi, after our conversation with Cookies, was able just basically moved our registration to like this Friday when it was actually like 2 Fridays ago to try and like override that so it'll automatically accept them. But is there a way that we can change that setting so it's not date based but just being on a team based? I just take that off because that's what he has right now, that it's set on the 13th.
Yeah.
And that's what we had originally for like registering teams, but now we've got kids that get put in, kind of after that date, and then they sit in pending, and then coaches cry, yada yada yada.
Well, I mean, so technically the system is doing what it's supposed to do. So
For sure.
Yeah. So we need to work that out. So we have three people here that are still sitting on like that invited state removed.
And I think those kids are on there because like they haven't accepted their invite to a team or something like that. But what was originally happening is that the kids were getting an X instead of a check mark on that date. And so we were just kind of pushing the date back, accepting them, and then moving it as kind of a quote unquote cheat code. I was curious if for kids specifically, if there's something that we could do for that.
We might be able to do this. Have you tried that ever, Alex?
Have I tried what?
Putting the registration date requirement on coaches only.
I haven't tried it.
So
I
if we do
mean,
this, I think this might work. Do we have an example of a kid who's stuck in pending? That's what I was getting at.
Not currently, I don't think, at least in Smash. Maybe if you check Smite, there might be a kid. We haven't played with Smite in a while. Who cares about Smite?
Right. Looks like they're fine.
I think Levi is, messed with it enough that there's probably not any kids that are pending right now.
Yeah, I think
But I
that
saw
might.
at the whole changing it from coaches to everyone.
Let's see. Those are removed.
I'm literally going to test that right now in my league.
This. I think this might be the solve for us because only coaches can register teams.
Yeah.
Everyone else has to join the team. So, or not even coaches, but like managers. This needs to be updated a little bit, but coaches is inclusive of managers and coaches. So, or basically staff, basically. So if we bring that in, and then as a player, you would skirt through this registration date, and then they would have to be on the join the team, which is fine. And the connecting of the platforms. Let's see, make sure that these are all okay. So you do have connecting platforms is mandatory for Siege. So one of these has to go through. Are you demanding that?
Yeah, most kids are doing that already.
Okay.
We should be good there.
Okay. Yeah. So the best thing to do when you have a situation like that is don't try and fix it right off the bat. Like if you're thinking like this is a repetitive step, what can we do to fix it? Ping us, obviously, as you've been doing, but then provide links. Excuse me. Choking on you. So, link to the season, link to the team, whatever is like causing the hiccup. So we can kind of look at it and say, here's how we can best address this situation. But I think this might be the solve here. So
okay. That makes sense to me. And I figured that'll work. Okay.
We've never done it this way, but it kind of occurred to me that this would actually potentially work. So
feels like it works. I trust.
Got one of your coaches here too, Lauren, right?
Oh, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. Oh yeah, Levi
it's Levi.
Wonderful. Thanks, Levi.
I have to
the
hop
other
here pretty soon. Keep going.
You're all good. Just because it's past 5 o'clock, the other question that I had, because we already talked about the making characters visible in our own channel and stuff like that. The other thing that coaches have been crying about is in our previous system, in our previous system, when we looked at a match page, basically is the crossover to League OS. We were looking at a match page, it would throw out not only the roster and all of that fun stuff, but also like who is the coach, how to contact them, email, all that fun stuff. Is there a different, I was just going to say, if they don't have that information on there, is there a different way that we can show email connections, anything like that, other than that? Again, I think it's mostly just say coaches don't do what we tell them to type of scenario, but
I mean, this is only room for improvement, but for me, like if I'm on this page and I'm a coach, I come over and I just click that, and then I like go over to Discord and I go copy paste. So like, hey, right, like I know where I'm supposed to be going in that channel. Emails is something that I consider private information, and so I'm always on the side of let's not expose it unless you convince me that it is necessary. And unfortunately, right now, a couple coaches crying isn't going to convince me.
Oh, for sure. Like that's our policy is Discord as communication anyway. And so I'm like, guys, as long as they have it on there, you should be able to see it. So I will just reiterate that of, hey guys, this is not a League OS problem. This is
a you problem. Yeah.
Because it doesn't look the same doesn't mean it doesn't work.
Yeah. You also had another question about let's see, on Smash, like you have your clubs and we were going to be ranking the teams, right? So it was going to be
there was only 2 things for Smash, and they were kind of like put in a ticket and we'll see type of thing, so I wasn't going to bring it up, but in our rule set it has that it's not necessarily a skill rank, but you at least need to dictate like who is 1, who is 2, who is 3, so that
Yeah.
you know what the matchups are going to be. On top of that, being able to see the characters they play is a part of that.
Yeah.
But
Okay. So I have answers for those, and I'll see how quickly I can get those out for you here. So this is your team rank. What you're describing is the team ranking. So it is exposed here for the admins area right here. I'm not sure if they show up on here. I think that they can edit them on this. I'd have to double check. But I think that if I was an admin here, the box that pops up over here should let me set the team rank. I'll double check that. But then the newer preferential way is to come in once dashboard. Probably, I'm hoping to have this done very soon. I'm not going to commit to dates, but it's this is live right now, right? So if I come through, here's your Smash crew team. So if you wanted to reorganize it from like 5 Husky Hoarder down a slot, you just basically just drag and dropping all of them down here.
Gotcha. Because one of the things that we saw is like when you activate it in the match, or like what we were kind of playing around with yesterday was when you activate those kids in the match, you know, it ranks them, or not ranks them, I should say, it populates them by alphabetical. So I didn't know if there was a thing that we could change so that like, okay, if I click that kid first, they're first. If I click that kid second, whatever. But
yeah,
player
that's going to be over here. You'll be managing the order over here on the dashboard area. And then the vision for that is, I'm not sure where we're going to integrate the character selections there, because you do need to pick them. They're going to pick their characters like right before the match, and that's going to change week over week, right?
Yeah, and like in the program right now, I can dictate in the player stats who they're playing, like as a coach and things like that. Like, you know, if I go to my week 1 matchup and I go to my player stats, I can put who they're playing and I can see them, but the other coach cannot see them, and that's just a generalized rule as part of our
So like right here.
yeah, exactly. And so it'll pop like, you know, if whoever is playing Bowser, when you're out of that screen, it'll pop up next to their name, but it won't show the other coach. It only shows me.
Really?
Yeah. At least
Okay.
everything that we have tried over the last couple of days. I know Levi's in here, and I think I tried it with him a couple of days ago. It doesn't show up for the other person.
Okay. Let me see if I can find a team with that. Yeah, I mean, they have that for game 1, right? So you'd have those characters underneath there, right? This is the preferred kind of like for this game. This is the character we played, right?
Yes.
And so you're saying that information is not showing up?
It's not, or I should say, it is showing up. How do I explain? I was doing it with another one of my exec team members, and it was showing up for me on my team, but it was not showing up for the other team what my team's characters were.
Okay.
It might have been a fluke. It might have been something where you just need to play around with it again, but it just like was not showing up.
Okay. That should show up. Like there's no reason that data shouldn't be there. So
What
I
is
will
your Lauren?
What's up?
What team is yours? Because we could do you want to try that out, Joel, on the opposing team?
Oh, sure. What
That's my team.
what class and division are you?
2-2.
And think here. Tank answered. Okay, so if you come to this page and look at game 1, do you see MF Mary? Now you're a super admin, so I would expect you to not have any problems.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I don't know if this is like something that I could see as an admin, or if it's something that
Are you sure that they're selecting the game 1 right here?
it's a possibility they're not. So
Because it is not going to show up on this overview page. It has to be on the game, because that would technically switch per game, right? So let's double check that they are just, I mean, it's a new interface, so they're still going to be learning as they go. So this might be the solution already exists for us.
I'm on it right now, and I can see that kid is Bayonetta. So
You cannot.
yeah, or I can. Sorry. So it
Okay.
must have just been they're doing it on overview.
That
not-
might, yeah. And since I'm assuming that the kids switch characters between games, right? Like they don't, or do they?
And most of the time they don't, but they can.
They can. So we support the idea that they can, and so that's just gonna have to be something they understand there. So
I got you. Okay. Well, I appreciate it. I think those are the only things that I had.
okay. Well, on that note, do they switch order from between game 1, game 2, game 3? So could you have an order of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then on the second game you'd switch who is the first player?
Yes.
So
You
that,
can.
so for that, if you're getting that granular, then but would they dictate that ahead of time? Would
Yes.
they say for game 1 I have this order, for game 2 I have this order?
Yeah, so like on our previous platform, basically, would have all the kids in the roster, and then they would off to the side dictate this kid's going first, this kid's going second, whatever, and then game 2 they would say, okay, this kid's going first, this kid's going second, whatever.
Oh God.
But
Okay. I'm glad I asked that question because that does adjust how this is going to work. That just might need to be something that's communicated in chat. Is that the
yeah,
end
and
of it?
that's what we were gonna go with for the next that's what we were gonna go with for this next week as we start our week ones is just you guys just talk to it in Discord. It'll be all right. It'll be fine.
Yeah. Because yeah, that's a pretty hard edge case for us. I'll have to think about how I want that if that's something that we want to spend time on at the moment.
So yeah, no, for at the
Okay.
time being, we have fully already accepted that there are some things that we just have to tell them just talk on Discord. It will be fine. Just communicate with the other coach. Especially if we're
communication is
still
the
trying
hardest
to
thing.
navigate things.
Yeah, communicating is the hardest part of all of this. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
right.
yeah. But
For sure. Nope, it'll be totally fine. That's something that, we can work through the first couple of weeks, and as people are navigating, if things persist, then we can continue to talk about it, but it is A-okay, I promise.
yeah. I'll make all your players. Okay. So noted. I still have my to-do list items for you. I think I've got about half of them done, but I'm still working on leaderboard stuff for you. So
Wins.
we'll get there. Yeah, stats must be entered in the verifying stage. That is actually, well, wait, I forget. Alex, we talked about this. We talked about how game win and game loss and score of a game are locked once it's finished. And we've discussed allowing the more granular stats like knockouts, self-destructs, and under the terminology of Smash Brothers. We've thought about making those ones be editable after it's marked as finished, but I'm personally am pushing back on that a lot. But I hear a lot of arguments for how we should let it happen. So yeah. Idea being, we have a role that we're saying this is your stats role. You should have somebody sitting there dropping stats in or getting ready to drop them in as soon as the match is over so they can get it done quickly. Think of it like the person who shows up at the basketball game with their score sheet and they're marking every single assist and point as the game is going. They don't get to watch it back and do it later. It's like you do this while the game is happening. We don't watch it on replay and do it later. So kind of the same premise for Smash where there's no API. So that's kind of our approach at the moment, but maybe not what you want to hear, but it is what it is. All right, Captain, what you got?
Well, hello. This one actually doesn't pertain to NECC proper. This one is the GAC conference. And I know this is just because I haven't used this type of sign up before at all. But they are doing Smash singles for their fall season. And when people go to register for Smash singles in the fall, it is giving them an error that just says cannot read properties of null.
Well,
And
I can't read Robert's note. What is the what's the domain on it?
Great American League OS.
Great American.
Yeah.
Great American. And it's probably set up to sign up as individual registration as opposed to a team registration.
It should be, yeah.
It's likely going to be the main problem.
That's my thought process.
Oh. That process has been woefully overlooked, and unkempt because it hasn't been a thing for a while.
I figured as much. And this is the first time we've ever done it.
Yeah.
Was also not my preference to do singles, but here we are.
Yeah, it looks like that is set up to be a non-team activity. Okay, I will have to have a ticket put in for this. It does look like some people are getting in.
They're
But
able
I'm
to
getting-
click
oh,
the
yeah.
register. Yeah, they're able to click the register button, but when they click the register button, they get that error.
Yeah, reading league view. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I will take a look at this. Make a ticket. So it probably will be a little bit of effort, but
That is okay. The signups for GAC close next week. Or is it next week? Yeah. End of next week, supposedly. So next Saturday.
okay,
So there's time on that one.
not too much.
Plenty of it.
I'll see.
Honestly,
if
if we have to put out a Google form, it is what it is. It's just
Yeah, I mean the other option is, I mean, they're truly competing as individuals, not as representative of their school.
it. Yes, to both. They are a representative of their school and also an individual. It is the most confusing thing ever.
And then it's a Smash solo. So then, I mean, this is where Alex comes back at me. We have disagreements as to how this should be structured. I'm of the opinion that this should be a team activity, and you should have the coach or manager. You're dealing with students. There's probably a coach or an adult, like somebody else in charge, right?
yes,
Like
yes.
there's somebody else, and so the way I think about that is still a team effort then, right? And so you either need to make individual teams for each individual, and attach their coach onto all of them as that manager role, and then drop them in. I know that's a lot of work, and
Yeah.
so the second best way to do it is, I think IEN does it this way. So I know they do it this way. I can show you how they set it up, and this is my preferred approach, but it doesn't always match and align with what the goals are. So I can show you how they structure it. So they have let's see if we can pick out a roster here that has a bunch of players. Okay, here's one. So KHS Chess, they brought in 2 players, and then they have their staff, and they have a preseason stage. And under the stage setup, they've set it up to be a non-team activity. It's an individual one, and then it just automate the stage rosters, etc. And so when I look at the rosters here, you'll see it's all the individuals. So, and then if you look at those rosters, it brings the coach in. So it basically takes all the confirmed players, splits them out into individual teams, and adds the coach to each of them. And then they can generate their schedule based upon the individuals in here. And so the stage shows then all of the standings. You see all of the, well, that's a bad example for that one. But it'll show the individual standings. And then at the stage level stats here, you can still see all of the individual member rankings. If they had set up all of their results correctly, you would see that data. But you would see all the win-loss records per person, but then it would also group them by team. So you would see then, okay, all of the people from, HHS Chess Varsity, these 4 would have a combined record at the team level. You could see, hey, this team went, 8-3 in all of their matches, and they could flip to members, and you can see individuals. And then
I
what
like
that does for registration is you just have to make one team. It's just your Smash Solos team, and everyone there jumps onto that one. You register the single roster, just like every other game, and it drops them in, and it's much easier to manage that. And so that's my preferred suggested method. It also prevents us from having to maintain that whole individual registration crap, which is just not used hardly ever. So it is definitely going to be buggy.
I like having it be a school anyways. I think that works way better just so that way it's already linked to a school at some point.
Yeah.
So honestly, I'll try to set it up like that and might just ping you guys at some point to
Yep.
make sure that's set up properly because that's how I would prefer it. And I know all of the managers would love to just group sign up their whole roster. So
Yes. Yep.
um,
So under stage format, just flip off that team activity. So
okay.
you make the season a team activity, and the stage you just deselect it,
Stage
and then
normal.
that's all you got to do. So,
Okay. That's easy. Cool.
Yep. Okay.
All right. Thank you guys. Have a good
Yep.
one.
Okay.
See ya.
Bye. All right. Let's shut it down before anyone else jumps in. Ready? Bye.